Welcome back to Closing Bell on Cheddar News. I'm Michelle Castillo, and we have an earnings alert. Levi Strauss is reporting strong second quarter results, beating on both the top and bottom lines. The iconic denim company saw revenue of $1.47 billion and adjusted earnings per share of 29 cents. The San Francisco-based company saying that the jump in revenue is due to stronger direct-to-consumer and wholesale sales, with digital revenue jumping some 3%, accounting for 20% of its quarterly revenue. The company will also stand by its guidance that it will grow from 11 to 13% by the end of 2022. Looking now at shares of Levi Strauss in after-hours trading, they're up about 4.15%. The FBI is joining forces with Britain's MI5 to warn the West about what they call one of the greatest challenges to national security and the economies of both countries, Chinese state-sponsored hacking. The heads of the two agencies met in London Wednesday and released a report on the Chinese government's involvement in corporate espionage. That same day, Apple introduced new security features for the iPhone, including lockdown mode for high-profile users like politicians and activists. Joining me now is Chris Pierson, founder and CEO of cybersecurity firm BlackCloak. So, Chris, thanks for joining us. Let's first talk about this joint presser in London. What was your main takeaway from this?
Well, I mean, look, the main takeaway is that intellectual property theft by China is something that has always been an issue, but most certainly over the past 10 years has risen in prominence. So research and development is absolutely the most expensive part of every single company's growth and all the rest. And as a result, it's rife for the stealing by nation states such as China. They can get huge leaps ahead in terms of years, decades, even off of research and development for new products. And it's something that U.S. businesses have to take seriously, have to pay attention to, and we have to move beyond just the crown jewels of personally identifiable information or financial information and really take a hard look at that intellectual property that we have and hold within companies.
Now, this is a rare warning from both these agencies. What does this tell you about how seriously the U.S. and the U.K. is taking the situation?
Every once in a while, something really, really pops up and, so to speak, agitates intelligence services around the world where China is actually focused in on attacking legitimate businesses, business folks, and corporations globally. It seems like this pace has picked up over the past few years. And of course, with COVID, it's only gotten more interesting. The home is actually now the new battleground for most corporate environments. The number of key individuals, key personnel, researchers, and executives that are at home that might be on home networks is probably adding to the ability for certain nation states to go ahead and penetrate those defense systems more readily than they would if everyone was just at the corporate network. Plus, mix into that the personal lives of those executives. They're inextricably intertwined to the company itself. The same with the researchers. So a lot more stuff is being developed, being worked on in the home environment. And obviously, when you see such a warning like this from both the U.S. and our British allies, it means that it is absolutely on the rise, and all chief information security officers, all boards, all corporate C-suites should take notice of this.
Speaking of being on the rise, how much has cybersecurity breaches increased over the past few years?
Well, I mean, we just saw this week the release of potentially up to 1 billion persons' information, personal information, crime statistics from actually Chinese citizens. So China potentially having this breach and that data trove being offered for sale on the dark web. So this is something globally that has been increasing around the world in terms of PII that is for sale, personally identifiable information that's for sale, financial information that's for sale on the deep web, dark web, and those data breaches at leading companies, all on the rise over the past few years. Something that seems like, every single time you tune in, there's a new data breach, new credit card list that's been stolen, new bank accounts that have been stolen and taken.
We talked a little bit about this earlier in the show, but there's been a rise in remote work or hybrid work. Do you think this has led to the increase in the cybersecurity breaches?
So I think that these breaches have always been there, right? Companies have always been targeted for their intellectual property, and nothing will ever stop that. What it actually has done is increase the attack surface. So instead of just trying to attack 10 locations where maybe 100 people are at each location at a 1,000-person company, now cyber criminals, now nation states can actually target those 1,000 homes, those 1,000 remote locations because all companies are now enabled for some aspect of remote work, and or the lines between personal life and the corporate life have become extremely blurred, once again, increasing that attack surface. And of course, as you would imagine, most individuals, executives, board of directors, folks in their personal lives do not have the same controls, the same protections as they do within the corporate landscape, where there's a professional team watching, monitoring, and protecting them.
Now, I want to talk briefly about another headline, Apple's lockdown mode. So what exactly does this do, and do you think it's going to make a difference?
So what Apple has done is this, has taken an approach where there's going to be a stepped up level of security on the new iOS releases that come in the fall. And what that really means is that some functionality will be turned off and turned down because those are more common avenues of attack. So specifically, FaceTime calls. You're not going to be able to get calls in from strangers. It's going to be someone that you've communicated with, people that you call. There's going to be some limitation on JavaScript and the ability for websites that are using JavaScript to work through the Safari browser, as this is a very exploited path of egress into that device. There are going to be some connections that are blocked. Wired connections on the phone will be blocked so that it's not capable of copying the contents of that device onto another computer or another device. And then finally, there will be some message previews where it is actually, you can just see the image of the preview, but you can't actually see that link and it's not fully operational. As a result, it's Apple's hopes that this will limit the ability for certain high-profile, high-value targets to be attacked as readily as they are. Once again, this is going to be the 0.0001 of the persons globally that have Apple devices. But in recent times, in recent years, we've seen a lot more happening with Pegasus anti-spyware and a lot more by, so to speak, nation states targeting individuals in their personal lives and on their personal devices.
Well, we'll have to leave it there today. That's thanks to Chris Pierson. He's the founder and CEO of cybersecurity firm BlackCloak. Coming up, from Walmart deliveries to Reddit's new avatar NFT marketplace, we've got more of the top stories we're watching next.